couple of seconds, there could be one person out of the game just because that's how snappy fights or pickoffs is on MLBB.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, it can just be a 3v5 whenever that guy spits someone back out, and especially if you spit him in near another teammate, then that means that's going to be two people just standing there stunned for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and that's a big deal for a
That's
lot
a
of,
big deal.
especially the highest level of pro play. That is a very big factor that a lot of their teams have to watch out for. That's why some of them are saying, most of them are saying like, no, we're not gonna deal with this anymore. We're not gonna leave it up to chance. We're just gonna ban it out.
Yeah.
Even if we get first pick, even the first pick teams are banning it out. That's how good that hero is right now.
They cannot have that on the other team. And it's really pretty much, in a way, a mechanic that will be abused for quite some time. Have you seen Louis Barrett's combination?
It really is nuts.
It is, because the thing is, for Louis, you're not really gonna bring the other team or the other player, the team from the other side, in that teleportation. But with Barrett's consuming that certain person, that
Now you
could
can.
be a 1v5.
Yeah. Used to be only Franco could do stuff like that, you know, and it's very difficult. With Barats, it's so easy to pull it off. Like for Franco, you have to time the hook properly, like super good, before you can even try to attempt to teleport an enemy with the low ult. Now Barats just has to consume him.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the bans, by the way, to the Jawhead. As I said, Omega really, really likes that hero, especially on the hands of Heath. Becomes very, very potent.
But it's not all about that mechanic coming out from Barrett's. It's more on the lane sustain.
Yeah, obviously, that's already a given.
And the dueling capability, it's really just high. BSB got the Hilda. They might be pretty happy with that. Jawhead is not an option here for the side of Omega. How will they answer this for the side of BSB?
It's going to be very difficult for this Hilda to actually rotate around the map, knowing we have a Selena close by. And he might be thinking about the jungle invades here, but again, that's going to start to look more difficult here for BSB. So they got to be careful with this.
They got to be really careful. I do agree with you, Rock. Although I'm actually surprised that BSB did not go for that first pick, Roger. I think the Hilda is much more valuable for their side, I think. But Omega, this is a pretty aggressive two-pick combination.
I think so. Again, Roger first pick is not something new for a lot of our teams. A lot of them really like that Roger, and they are able to go to great lengths to make it work. And even though even the teams that get beaten in the early game, they still manage to keep up with the late game because of the Roger form, because of the speed that Roger can move in and out of the fights, because of the amount of damage it can do, especially buffed up with Turtle and with Orange buff. It's a big deal.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? My guest coins are now available for
Yeah, make sure
for
you
claim.
you go ahead, do that.
Yeah, I actually have a lot.
It's gonna be the Kufra locked in for BSB, as well as that show. And these are very good heroes for BSB. They've had good success with it. Well, when we say success, they don't get the wins, but they look good.
They look good.
They do pretty good stuff with it.
Yeah, it's true. Omega. This is a pretty, how do I say this? Greedy 3-pick setup for them. They just went on it. For BSB, they just focused on getting the tank. So this is going to be an offlane Hilda. 100% for me is going to be an offlane Hilda.
That's look
Or they could go for a 2-tank setup.
Yeah, it's possible that they're probably going to. It's difficult for us to think about a lack of offlane, right? Because it's this Hilda's not gonna be able to go on mid, just because they don't have a mage support. They don't have a hyper carry yet. So those are the things that slots they'll have to fill up.
And there is a thing here for BSB that they banned out the Baksha. That is actually a double-edged ban for their side. Like they could have use that backsha on for their advantage. I mean, a backsha off lane wouldn't really hurt their side. But you know what? I'm kind of getting why BSB did that. It's because they have a lot of tanks on their side already. So they cannot really afford to go for that. I think for BSB here, the next two picks are going to be really high damage middle lane and a high damage side lane.
Just look out for that. Yeah.
I think a mage side lane and middle lane Ling probably. They like to do that, or a Lance. Lance could work for
Yeah,
this side.
none of these heroes are getting banned out, so one team's definitely gonna get a Lancelot for sure. Highly, highly prized by a lot of our teams in the MPL. This Lancelot can do a lot. So Lance and Ling still quite interchangeable between BSB and Omega.
Whew. This is going to be a
Tigreal.
Tigreal.
Okay.
A Tigreal? A Tigreal?
Tigreal. Yeah, that's how the announcer lady says
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's Tigreal.
Let's stick with that.
You'll stick with that.
Let's
There
stick
you
with
go.
Tigreal. Oh, it's
There's
a
the
Valor.
damage support that we're
there's
looking for.
There's a Tigreal and there's a Valor. So this is going to be an off-lane Hilda.
Yeah, for sure.
Or an off-lane Kufra. That can be a possibility.
It sounds a little unlikely, but you know
Yeah,
what? It's doable.
I mean, at this point, anything is possible. As we've said, Omega. But yeah, I'm actually leaning towards off-lane Hilda. An off-lane Hilda makes more sense to me.
Yep. No, it's the Omega just has a lot more freedom here. They have a lot of freedom to go for this last pick. Definitely gonna be someone who's gonna be on the side lanes again. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a good AoE hero because of the Tigreal setup.
Who is this certain side laner that they will go for? They would just go
There
for
you
the
go.
Freya. And
Omega.
that is going to be the Kenji hero or the Toshi hero? It's going to be the Toshi hero.
Yep, Kenji gonna be on the side lane as usual with the Ruby. And a strong side lane farmer on Omega's side, which is the Freya. Now, this is something that's not as common, but I have a lot of faith in the Freya pick.
As long as BSB can move as early as, let's say, 5 minutes or 6 minutes, I think Omega with that Freya pick, they just put themselves in a tight spot.
I just realized, yeah, sorry.
But if Omega can just, control the game for as long as they want to, I don't think that the scaling will be fair for the side of BSB in terms of mid-game to late game.
Yeah, this Season Shin can easily be hunted down. It's also in the hands of Shider, by the way, and for some reason, Drix is not playing today. So, not sure about the efficiency here, but BSB, they're going to have to prove us wrong here as we go into Game 1. BSB versus Omega for Week 8, Day 2 of the MPL Season 6 regular season.
Okay, so let's head on, and that is going to be a side lane Hilda and a side lane Valor, with a side lane Show and a side lane Kufra, and Shider gets left at the middle lane. He's forced to clear that out, and as you can see here, Omega is seeing this, so they're actually just rotating and just curing that purple spot for BSB.
Try to make sure that Toshi stays alive as well. And they know they can give this guy a hard time. It's the 2-1-2 for BSB, allowing the Ascension to just stay in the mid lane while the rest of the squads take on those side lanes and try to rotate to the jungle after they clear the wave.
And look at Wilson here being very aggressive to the bottom lane. Flicker will be used. Heath here. He could be the first casualty of this game. Yes, that is going to be the case with 2 assists. 2 assists coming in for Capuan and Trevor? Yeah, Trevor.
Yep, and they are still staying. They're sticking with the tempo. They're hunting down Tigreal and the Freya, which are very, very weak in the early game if not used properly. And looks like they will catch them right on time. BSB's on the lead here by 600 points, 700 points.
And look at this. They're being very aggressive. It seems to me that BSB knows of the innate weakness of this Omega lineup. Trevor is the first one to go down for the side of BSB Omega here. making their pick-offs count.
Now, the only weakness, of course, for Omega is that early game. After they reach the 7-minute, 8-minute mark without suffering too much casualties, they should be able to equalize here as much as possible. Right now, Capwan's going to be in trouble. No one to help him out means that's going to be a free kill for Omega once more.
Well,
That's 2-2 on the kill score.
That orange buff-filled Roger has way too high damage.
Absolutely.
Has really good damage. It's not one hero that you'd want to duel against as long as he has that red buff. So what do you do? Do you deny that red buff? Because I mean the red buff is pretty much, you know, deep inside the enemy territory.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be a hit. Oh my god, looks like Haze. And again, Haze on the Selena is just a classic. He just does that really, really well. Gonna be another dive here on the top lane. And Cap1's gonna be locked in here once more. 4 people down on the side of one person down against 4 people from the side of Omega. That's just something difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and as you can see, in terms of passive, it's all about you losing the HP. So Roger, Full Moon's Curse really works well against these tanks. So Roger can just make the most out of those dives in full form. Well, in basic form, Roger's attack slows down enemies by 20%. So you can never outrun this guy because of the kit that he has.
That's right. It's going to be a big fight here. Around the turtle area, will be scared by Shider on that Yi Sun Shin.
And look at this, Kenji here trying to fight for his life. Those are 5 members for the side of BSB. They punish Omega for trying to contest that. And with that turtle going for Yi Sun Shin, that is going to be a win, clearly a win for the side of BSB.
It'll be a quick win. Mid lane will be the next fight here. Hajizi seems to be having trouble trying to find the targets, but he will find Wilson. That's going to be 1 free kill for Omega.
And Trevor here forced to use up the flicker. Heath, will he go for an engage? No, he won't. And the thing about Tigreal right now, what makes him really good, is that implosion flicker mechanic that he can use right now.
I agree.
It was introduced early on the Project Next. Cap1 here will get bitten by that trap. Damage just way too high. Haze here just showing us his support prowess.
Yep.
To the bottom lane, there is a bit of a push happening here, and they will get that. Wilson will just let it be.
Yeah, the rest of Omega just holding on here, trying to get that advantage on towers. And they are getting it. And it's just Haze trying to hunt down people. That is what the Selenas do, and he's doing it pretty well. We haven't seen anything big from Heath yet, but that's something I'm really looking forward to. Watch that implosion flying in the air. Should be something for Omega, but they can't utilize it yet because Toshi cannot join the fights.
Clearly, I'm seeing right now that in terms of levels, Rockhart, Ana is way behind. Even with 2 kills, Toshi has more levels than him. So what happened there? What do you think happened?
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of downtime here for BSB. They keep trying to find fights, and they just keep losing, and they're always forced to back off. Omega's always in the front.
Omega's always in the front.
Which means they're able to get a lot of the experience, they get a lot of the gold. That's why they can do stuff like this.
And look at the implosion.
Whoa.
Actually connects on Ana. Ana here gets punished by being aggressive. He just wanted the way of the dragon. Wilson will be the next target. Flicker and Wilson going down. Damage per damage per damage, and there is a throwback there. Throwback Saturday, as the Tyrant's Rage and Revenge will just connect on Kenji.
Oh, he pushes back Trevor as well. Look at that. There's no answer. Cap1 just charges Tyrant's Revenge and doesn't actually pull it off. That's a very good kill from Omega. They will get the turtle because of that. And apparently the reason why we don't see the flying implosion is you don't need to flicker if the enemy's right next to you anyway. That's what he's thinking, you know.
Yeah, man.
No need to be.
They don't have the dash, and Toshi might have bitten off more than he can chew here, but he's trying to go for the Cho.
Look at that
2v1. The Cho. Oh, Cap1 here getting hit. That flicker will be connecting, and that is going to be a ridiculous amount of damage coming out from Haze, and that will be the arrow just connecting at will.
2v1 on the Freya. They're the ones who just ran. That's just how powerful the Freya is the moment that we hit the 7-minute, 8-minute mark. And I think we're almost there. Now, this is what I'm talking about. If you don't push back Omega before this time, before the mid-game starts, you're probably going to go down because of pure pressure from all of their people. Right, all of the players here have good mid-game mechanics, and that's just it. It's going to be very difficult for them to answer a Freya, even on the 2v1.
And did my eyes just deceive me? Is that a Has Claws for Toshi? I think it is. But Heath here might go for the implosion. There is a stun. Mountain Shocker will connect on a lot of people
Toshi.
there. But Toshi with the damage output, as you can see here, that's going to be a double kill on his side. Arrow won't connect. The tower, will it get pushed? Heath here just zoning out Scheider. He does not want that minion to go down.
Oof.
Wilson trying to go for the ultimate. It won't really connect. Scheider here getting sandwiched by 3 people here on the side of Omega. How will you run?
Oh,
the
Scheider!
big bad wolf is here. Scheider with the traceless, but it won't really matter. It's going to be a godlike for the big bad wolf.
Yep, GZ just making sure his KDA goes up even higher than earlier. Let's have a look at that last fight. And as I think you're wondering why the early has lost. This is actually the reason. The response.
And one way to deal with that is try to steal this turtle, but they cannot do that as BSB is forced to go back on their base. There is a middle outer turret here, second tier 2 turret for the side of BSB, and that's the only one remaining in terms of the outer turrets in this game for their side. But Omega, they will be trying to secure this map for themselves, and BSB is 100% forced to go there.
There you go, Ana.
And look at this. That
Oh
was
my gosh.
Ana. That was a very good. That was a very good Jit Kundo.
It
That was a
was.
very good knockup. But you know what? There is only so much that Ana can do, and he even used the Shunpo. He got disabled at some point, and he could not really just go for that good
Yeah.
initiation.
This is basically it, right? There's just no way that they're going to be able to climb out of here. They used their bet. That was the best bet for BSB if Ana was able to get a pick off. But he was stunned before he could kick anyone. Like, the timing of the stun there, I'm not even sure what stun hit him. I think Kenji was the one who disabled him with a pull. With a pullback. It was just beautiful. Right?
Yeah, that was really beautiful. That was really, that could have been very much clutch for for Ana there, but he kind of hesitated, I think.
Hesitation plus the stun,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Because the ones near him was Kenji and Heath,
Oof.
probably Toshi or Heath. But when that happened, when that certain thing happened, it kind of just threw him off. Like, am I really, or should I really just kick Kenji inside of my team, or
I think that's
to the side of my
yeah.
team? So that is one thing that you really have to make your mind on. If you do that, Kenji will be near your enemy team, and
Yeah.
that means a pull can just happen. We are angry can just happen with a snap of a finger.
Yeah. And for Ana, it was actually super difficult because there was no vision behind that brush. I mean, he didn't know who he was going to find out before he went in. And after he went in, he suddenly realized, oops, there's 4 people next to me. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, I'm not going to kick anyone because my team's just going to die right off the bat if I kick someone.
Oh, and look at this. There is a knock up there, Kufra. Oh, that was a very good save. Implosion will be cancelled, but he still has the implosion as it is not put into cooldown if you cancel it. Scheider, on the other hand, trying to deal as much damage as possible, but that is a Roger. And oh, look at the damage
Scheider
output
is
coming up
actually
from
doing
Scheider.
really good
And
here.
Goodness gracious, it really took a long time for him to go down. And one thing that actually favored BSB here is all the minion waves are pushing to the side of Omega.
Yeah, luckily there's a big distance between the base and the minion waves. But the problem is they also have just that much amount of damage output. So at least Kaplan's gonna be able to get charged back into the base, but it's not gonna be. It's way too late. They're already the minions are already in range, and Hajiz is already attacking the turret.
So now, looking at the map, the Lord is up, and there is a take on BSB's purple buff. So Omega, in terms of just ending this game, I think they're just waiting for 5 people to respond. Then they are going to take control of that certain area for
Yep.
the Lord right there.
So the Lord's gonna be so big, right, for this one. Wonder if they are gonna be able to make stuff happen here.
I mean, there's a lot of clutch happening for BSB in terms of these Lord takes.
Yeah, exactly. Saw that yesterday as well, and let's see if today's gonna be different.
Oh, and look at this. Kenji and the others onto the back line. Trevor will be the first, will not be the first one to go down, but he will go down in the hands of the Roger. And 4 people are out for the side of BSB. Anna is there trying to go for the split push. Anna tries to go for the base race. Omega is just roaming.
Base
Is just
race.
warming the base. And this isn't even a fair base race at this point.
The one-man
This
base
is a
race.
5v1 base race. BSB here trying their best, but they could not really just secure that win as Omega will dominate game number 1.